You know, a lot of police officers got hurt that day. With bottles, they were the cans and the bottles were somehow getting up under that doggone mask they had on and hurt them, and a lot of them went to jail. So all this is a combination of things to come.
And let me make a point about the flying objects. They have a tape at Black Media Communications that we got off of television where they actually showed the government fighting incoming forces right now.
Losing.
They have on video.
They're losing, but they're fighting them right now. We got the video right at Black Media Communications, and we might show it next week.
And they also have a video where they landed on Mars with the joint team with the Soviet Union. And when this craft landed on Mars, they saw movement on Mars.
1962. They
talking about the Sphinx and that.
Oh yeah, they have pyramids and Sphinx heads on
Mars. You can get the book, the Monuments of Mars,
and that's
and
that's nothing spooky, because I remember, I think it was in '88 when we first read Message to the Black Man and saw Farrakhan speaking. He said these things and we laughed and made mockery. But when going to various conferences and listening to whites speak on this subject, this is a real and factual thing going on. And they have tons of books talking about the monuments on Mars.
You need to get the book, Monuments on Mars. It's a big, thick version. It was a smaller version, but now it's a big, thick version. Monuments on Mars, A City on the Edge Forever, by Richard Hoagland is his name. Richard Hoagland. Monuments on Mars. Got to get that book. He's a NASA man, number one. And they do show the people, Russia and the United States. They got this film. You can get it at Black Media. Russia and the United States together. Now, we supposed to be enemies of Russia in 1962 now, right? 1962, what we doing with Russia going to Mars? But they got a picture where they sent an unmanned craft. They sent a spacecraft up that didn't have any people on it. But they sat back and they watched it in their control center. Russia and the United States together watched it. And when they were watching it, they said, it touched down, they said, we've landed on Mars, and the people were going all crazy. And they said, what's that? What's that? And something underground was moving, like it was running from the spacecraft. And they said, and the Russian guy, not being briefed on what the deal was, he jumped up and said, oh, 1962, we've landed on Mars, and there's life, there's life.
And you know what's ironic about that?
You can get that too.
Is Elijah Muhammad used to preach on black people living on Mars and living underground.
Under the ground.
Repeat the title and author.
Richard Hoagland is the author.
H-O-G-L-A-N-D.
The book is called Monuments on Mars, A City on the Edge Forever. Just say Monuments on Mars, Richard Hoagland. And unfortunately, he was here back in September, and we missed him. Another thing, too, there's a NASA guy coming to the Chambly Civic Center on the 20th of this month. It's probably about $8, but you all need to be out there.
He works for NASA?
Yeah, he works for NASA.
He's not going to tell the truth then.
But you know what? Though? Yeah. Now, he doesn't work for NASA now. He used to work for NASA.
Oh, okay.
But then again, NASA putting this stuff out, and this is an all-white community, and it's the same place we went to see the other one, the other UFO convention. It won't be with a few blacks there. They're going to put it out anyway because they got to teach their people. So you all need to be there at the Chambly Civic Center on the 20th. That's on a Saturday. And all. That's on a Saturday. And next week, I'll bring some flyers by. I have to go out to Buckhead and get them because that's where they put them. And I'll bring some flyers by. And some of you all go out there and see what these boys talking about. I'm going to be there.
Okay, here's a question. Okay, I have a question to any one of the three panelists. First of all, the question is, would you all agree to the notion that what's going on down here on the Earth is actually some sort of resemblance as to what's going on in the spiritual realm between good and evil? Yeah. And if it is, are we overemphasizing the European as opposed to evil?
No. Because, see, what you got to understand is, when you're talking about a spiritual manifestation in the physical, it has to be carried out in physical form. So as long as you're running around here trying to figure out what's this evil manifestation, then you're still going to be confused. So that's just like you didn't have the knowledge. You see, if I break in your house, you want to know who broke in your house. You don't want to say it's a little man with a red suit on.
You know, and it's funny. Okay, you said, is it the same with overemphasizing? In Alcoholic Anonymous or any kind of anonymous, you can't go further until you recognize the point and chip away at the actual problem. You see, you can't come in there saying, well, I think I got a sort of a problem. No, no, but if we can't therapeutically help you, if you have to go to the problem. Now, the source of the problem is it's a satanic element, as above, so below, right? But you must identify this element. There's a spiritual realm, and it's called the astral plane. It's called the astral plane. And on this plane, you have different entities. You have human entities, you have non-human entities, which are your animal lives, and you have artificial entities, and yes, you have human artificials. Get this. Human artificials. Now, that's nothing, no hocus pocus stuff. I'm getting these from the white boys, and I'll document it. Human artificials. You can get a book that's explaining the astral realm, because the heavenly world that you see, what you see all the gods, what they were trying to explain to you is what exists on another realm. You see, you have an earthly realm, as above, so below. And you have a heavenly realm, or a spiritual realm, and those are spiritual entities. Go back and look at the movie Ghost. Go back and look at the movie Ghost. Very key that you look at the movie Ghost, because number one, the movie Ghost came out the first year of the decade. It came out in 1990. Very significant on why these white boys put out movies. Because you can find all.
They Live too.
They Live is a movie directed by John Carpenter. They Live. But I want you to go back and study the Ghost, because the Ghost is telling you some things on the astral realm. You remember when Whoopi Goldberg was there, and after they found out that she had this psychic power, that they had all these people standing around her, and she was doing readings for the people on earth and the people in the spiritual realm. Well, the spiritual realm is when you leave this body, this physical body, this body of matter, you go to another realm and another dimension. You can leave this body now. You can go home tonight if you know what you're doing. You can leave this body and you can visit that realm. That's called astral projection. You can visit this, but you have to prepare yourself, and through practice to do this type thing. But when you die, you go with the same realm. But anyway, on that realm, there's artificial entities. And on those entities, that's what we have down here. We have humans and we have human artificials. And this European is this human artificial. But this European, if you look at Freddy Krueger again, look at that. Because he does everything through his movies. It's not spook stuff. The government, number one, the movie industry is run by who? It's run by the government. And Freddy Krueger says what? He strives off of your fear. Your fear makes him strong. He's actually a weak person, but if you look at the movie It by Stephen King, who studied the occult for many years, the fear made him strong. So with this white boy is, when we come into the knowledge of self, he's going to deteriorate. He's only a spook, really. And truth is stranger than fiction.
And you know why that fear is so important? Because if you look at, let's take the Nation of Islam, for example. Now, the Mafia is one of the most feared groups in America. In the 60s, they went up against the Nation. And because they don't fear nothing, especially the European, they were no match for the Nation.
That's right.
And they had no weapon.
That's
the Mafia said, we can't mess with
We
these
can't mess
people.
with them. Take for instance, the Mafia, now here's some people number bean pies in their hand. The Mafia stole one of their bands. Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and no, this was recently. This was with Farrakhan. This was in the 80s, the mid-80s. They stole one of the bands. They told them, look, they said, we want the band back in front of the mosque at 8 o'clock in the morning. If it's not there at 8 o'clock in the morning, keep the band. We don't want it. We're going to show you that we mean business, because it's principle here. We want it at 8 o'clock because we say we want it at 8 o'clock. Now, if it's not there at 8 o'clock, keep the band. At 8 o'clock, no, at 6 o'clock, the band was back in front of the mosque. You see, the fear. Right now, you got the same little thugs that you call thugs is our foot soldiers, the gangs. Right now, now listen, prohibition to all that, the government never could touch them all, was scared of them all. And you get some hoodlums, that we call them, ran the mob, took the mob out of the dope business. The mob said, hey, y'all can have it. We just a few families, and you got 100,000 niggas with guns, and y'all killing every night. You see, the fact of the matter is when the revolution starts, because the revolution's going to start, they're going to kill a few of us. When the revolution starts, Joe Blow in the pool hall is the one that's going to have your back. Us up in our little suits in a college dormitory and in the academia world ain't going to be able to fight. Joe Blow in the pool hall, because right now if they blew your brains out, you would freak. If they blew somebody, you'd freak. But what about that boy that's been fighting it all through the 80s? They blew somebody's brains out, he go, hey, this another night for me, let's get down. Let's get it on. So the foot soldiers are the brothers that's in there. Don't let nobody fool you with this Operation Cool Down with punk niggas like, what's this? And also, that old nigga every night on TV, Arsenio Hall and all these people. These old Uncle Tom sell out. The things that happen is for a reason. And overnight, we got a bunch of trained soldiers. They can use them guns. It don't take much to point a Uzi. You see, so.
Okay, we have time for 3 more questions. 1, 2, and 3, right there. Let's make a response to everything quick. Go ahead, sorry.
All right, I agree with all y'all panel that we need to know our past and go ahead to the future. But when is the white man's time has come? Not only are black people in America, but all over the world taken down. Now, Elijah Muhammad was talking in the 60s of the white man's time is going to come, and it was supposed to come in the 60s, and it hasn't. And black people were catching hell in the 60s, the 70s, 80s, and the 90s, and they're still catching hell. And we're going to keep catching hell. Now, what is we as black people can do until then, and when is the time going to come till we get rid of this devil or so-called beast, this Caucasian mountain mutation? When can we get rid of him?
Yeah, okay. Number one, he didn't say that they was going to come in the 60s because he wrote books. He wrote his books in the 70s, The Fall of America. You need to get there and talk about the mothership on it. It's going to destroy it. He wrote The Fall of America, and he wrote the Theology of Time, Message to the Black Man in the late 60s, Fall of America around 73. Then he wrote Theology of Time before he died. They just released it in the fall, in March of 92. And he understood because he lived to tell this stuff on into the 70s. He didn't die till 75. And what happens is, if you understand science, you understand that things happen in a cycle. Everything goes in cycles. Things don't go in a linear perspective. The European goes in a linear perspective because he has a beginning and yes, he's going to have an end. Things happen in a cycle. And we understand that now we have the scientific element of the, we understand now through study, through scholarship and study, that these cycles are ending. You see, the cycles are ending in the millennium. Now the millennium is 2000. We're on what you call the Gregorian calendar. You had the Sophic calendar from Egypt, and then you had the Julian calendar that copied the Sophic calendar from Rome that were almost on time. Now we have the Gregorian calendar, which is 4 years behind time. So 1996 is actually the year 2000. Now on our time, you have the Dogon tribe in Africa. That if you was here last week, did you got the book? Thank God, I hope you got the book, because I want to show people this. Show you that we are not bullshit. We are not bullshit. Number one, this is the God No More. And the God No More is represented as a God, as a fish. Pisces. Pisces, fish, Jesus Christ, fed the multitude under the sign of the fish. You see how the same Aquarius, Aquarius, do you understand how these things transcend other cultures? Fish, Jesus Christ. But this God No More is supposed to come back. And he's supposed to subdue his evil brother, the pale fox. Pale meaning white, fox meaning the sly dog. Understand? Dogon tribe. Now listen. He's supposed to come back in an ark. This is 700 years old to 1,000 years old. Let me know if this is not a UFO or not. When I get to it, I want to show you this. And then I'm going to tell you something about the cycles. Look. I'll show you this picture. And you let me know. If I'm stupid, then call me out. This picture is UFO. But anyway, he's supposed to come back in an ark. Now this is on all the wall paintings of the Dogon. And this is what's on there. Is that a representation of a UFO or what? It's not an airplane. It's 700 to a couple thousand years old. Now these people are the descendants of the ancient Egyptians, or the ancient Kemites. When after Egypt degenerated, as we want to put it, didn't fall, it degenerated because they were old and they were tired of damn running civilization. They traveled to West Africa. And they left the legacy behind these people here, the Dogon tribe. Now the Dogon tribe dance around this star called Sirius. They told the white man there's a smaller star called Sirius B that they didn't see. They told him this in the early 30s, and they was doing this ceremony called the Siggy ceremony. They developed a telescope and finally saw the star and said, how could they know this? But they told him also that the mythology is all this stuff that's happening is on this star, and our ancestors are on this star. Now going through the cycle. They did the Siggy ceremony in 1936. They do the Siggy ceremony every 60 years. 1936. 60 years from 36 is what? 1996. We said this is on the wrong calendar. 1996 is the year 2000. They're going to do that dance in 1996. You see what I'm saying? And the white man knows this about the cup. The white man knows this. And they're going to do that dance in 96, and these cycles are up. And when these cycles are up, he's gone, because the lineup of the planets and all. So it's funny you asked that, to give you some ease. We went to the UFO conference, and a white guy stood up and said, isn't it true that when when the 2000 come in the millennium, our time is up? And the white woman said, yes. She said, but we're trying to change that through the New Age Society by doing all this stuff. So the time is here. You can't get no worse. You know why the time is up? Because number one, you don't have no more time. I mean, you can't go another 20 years like this. You'll be dead. You see, so.
All right, let's go with this question here. We'll go back to you.
First of all, I just wanted to say how important it is for us to all have our own libraries within our own houses. It's funny, when you go to the West End Mall, you notice that they have about 20 sneaker shops, about 30 record stores, but they don't even have a bookstore there, right? All they have is just that one little stand, which is really pitiful. So it's important for you to get your own books and have your own library. Also, a couple of books I didn't hear mentioned was the War and the Miseducation of the Negro by Carter G. Woodson, which was written in 1933, but you might as well say it was written yesterday. So many things are still going on. And also The Community of Self by Naeem Akbar, which kind of touches, not necessarily the pineal gland, but also it makes you start to think and question why you do the things you do, about the people you hang out with, your study habits, the people you associate with. So those are some very important books at your personal library. The question I wanted to pose to the panel is, since the Rosicrucians and White Masons and so forth aren't able to ascend to the next level that you spoke about earlier, can we, as African women and men, join these organizations such as Rosicrucians, White Masons, and so forth? Can we join these organizations and then take that knowledge that they have, which is much more than we as people outside those organizations have? Can we take that knowledge once we get in and then ascend to those levels?
Yeah, I think if you get a chance to get into the Rosicrucians,
yes,
you get in there. Now that's out of all of you can't get into the White Masonic group, but you can get into the Rosicrucians. It's interesting that the Rosicrucians is open, and what that means is that they have a hierarchy, because it's like a pyramid structure. You have all the people on the bottom, and you have the smaller group that's running this thing at the top. You probably wouldn't be able to go to the top, but just the mere fact to get into it would be a good idea.
As a matter of fact, I think the president of Cote d'Ivoire, the Ivory Coast, is a member of the Rosicrucians.
But bear in mind, that's a strategy. And yes, I would say if you wanted to do it, I wouldn't stop you, because we need all the work we can get. But it's still walking that line. You can get caught up in some stuff. Because let me tell you something about these crackers. These crackers can put some stuff on you that can mess you up mentally. They got the power to do this. We met a girl Sunday. And I'm talking about, she's a gifted and a talented young lady. But she was on that psychic hotline with Dionne Warwick, and then crackers threw some stuff on her over the phone. And now she's got some bad stuff. They can do this. We're talking the spiritual realm. It's greater than you think. It's our knowledge. And knowledge is knowledge, and power is power. You can use it for good, or you can use it for evil. It depends on what it is. Since the white man is evil, he's going to use it for evil. So I would say right now, going into this stuff, I wouldn't be so close to be around these beasts as much as possible.
But you can get to, if this brother's talking about
Yeah.
coming to a higher plane, there are many organizations and affiliations right here in Atlanta, like the brother here.
That's right.
At the Black Media
suggest you-
Communications, we go there every Sunday. There's
You wanna go?
an elder there, master.
video I want to go and get metaphysically sound.
Going to a higher plane, and he teaches you how you can go to a higher plane. And this brother is at the Black Media Communications every Sunday from 4 to 6.
4 to 6.
And he teaches you how
Only
you can get
$5.
your spirituality
I
in
suggest
order.
it.
Because your spirituality comes before religion. Religion, organized religion, we've had more deaths claimed through organized religion than any other organization in the world. Your spirituality comes before any type of religion base that you can ever have. And one of the prime sources and one of the prime ways you can do that, opening up your kundalini, getting your spiritual plane in order, is right there with this brother right here. Black Communications every Sunday. Be there.
Let me tell you what the deal is. Now this is it. If you interested, every Sunday at 6 o'clock. 4 o'clock, from 4 to 6. Not 6, I don't want y'all to be that now. From 4 to 6, you can go to this brother, his name is C. Freeman L., a master, a Moor, from the Moorish Science Temple. Teach you all of the stuff you need to get on that higher plane. It's only $5 to get in, and you can rent it if you miss a day, if you miss that Sunday, you can get the video or the audio, and also they have the videos available if you want to study the videos. So we got enough stuff in our own community, and I think in the millennia we need to get together. And,
Thinking about going over Auburn Avenue, all you're doing is joining a social club anyway.
So he's 33rd degree. He should tell, these are my two brothers, this brother here and this brother here. And he's 33rd degree. So, and you got a brother back here, the brother right here, the Sigma man is a part of it and all. And there's subsequent knowledge to all of that. And so you need that path. You all try to be there on Sunday. He's going to be there until April.
We have a question here.
Well, actually, I don't have a question, but I'm going to make it plain. I'm not going to try to blow anybody away or anything like that. I'm not here to impress anybody. But one of the first lessons that you get in the Nation of Islam is that the black man is the original man, the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth. The last part is the most important, God of the universe. Now, when I went to Egypt 4 years ago, almost 4 years ago, and I looked at all these wonderful monuments and statues and obelisks, and I looked at the Sphinx, I looked at the pyramids. I said, now how could our people have built this if they believed in the Spirit of God? There's no way that they could have built those pyramid structures precisely, right in the center of the universe. And if you go inside of the pyramids, you'll see that they were built in a strategic way. They were not just thrown up. You can't just throw these pyramids up. So these people had the mindset of a higher plane, much higher plane. And they believed that they were gods. And it's nothing spooky about being God. Now, the brother asked a question over here about the white man ruling us and when is it going to stop. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches that when the white man was made, that he was made to bring out a defect in us. There was a defect in us. And we needed to see that defect on the outside because we didn't know that it was there. Now, you may say, well, why would we invent that? Well, in the Bible it talks about the enemies of God fighting against God. And you might wonder, well, why would the enemies fight against God? They know they're going to lose in the end. Well, now our enemies know that they're looking at God. When they look at us, they know they're looking at God. But when they see us, they say, well, he's not acting right, so I'm going to keep fighting. That's right. I'm going to prolong the time that I have here on earth. So as long as we don't minimize those defects within us, spiritual defects, we're looking at the defect that's outside of us. But as long as we let that white man rule us, he will continue to rule us. Because he's looking at God, but he sees that God is not doing what he's supposed to do. That's right. So if we don't get up into that spiritual plane of the knowledge of self, then we're going to continue to be ruled.
Brother, in the back.
I wanted to know if the Rosicrucians were the same as the Prince Homies.
No, let me explain. No, the Rosicrucians are hundreds of years older than the Prince Hall. That's coming out of Germany.
Yeah.
And Prince Hall was what year? What year? You?
17.
No, you talk. No, the Prince Hall. When did Prince Hall start? The kitchen. 1700s. What happened? What? The Boston Tea Party. What happened was, I think it's something mysterious about the brother. I think that he might have infiltrated it because he looked like he was about white. And there was theories that he might have infiltrated, and you know, when you go to the first couple of levels, you still don't get anything into it. Being in there in years, you get to a high level, you know, as far as to understand these secrets that they give you. But what happened was he petitioned the Lodge of England that he wanted to set up a group for black Masons and all, right? And it's an interesting story on that. Now, everything we do is great, even in our fallen years. There's an interesting story about that is that they sent his charter over, and they were sending the white boys' charter over, and they had the Boston Tea Party, and they threw the white boys' charter off. The white boys from America, they threw their charter off in the Boston Tea Party. So in actuality, we got an authentic charter. But that don't mean nothing but the white man giving us, validating us for some stuff that we had from before. But it's totally different. It's, you know, it's totally different. Basically, it's a social club, really. And it's what you make out of it. When you get into it, it's a social club. You drink liquor and drive cabs. But if you get into it, now I can't say this much about it because it's what you make of it. It's the same as you go here. You can do that rope learning thing when you're in college and pass all the tests and be unprepared when you get out there. You understand that thing. So once you get in it, you can take it to a step further. And anything we into, it's just like the church. You just got to add the Afrocentricity back into it and the science back into it. You know, so, yeah.
I answer the comment real quick. I appreciate everybody waiting. Yeah, man, that's the question about good and evil, black and white, and are we not overemphasizing this devil? I've argued with these brothers for 10 years about this whole white boy thing. I grew up with white folks, and see, I didn't want to have to degrade myself, because I'm saying 18 years of running around with them, you know, have I been tripping that hard? You know, somehow it might have indicted me to say integration wasn't a bad thing, okay? Being the only black in my class from kindergarten all the way to senior year, and then coming here and getting enlightened, okay? The bottom line is this. We are different people. I don't know why. I'm not the scholar to tell you why. But there's something about a black man. A black man cannot by nature go out and just, pardon my French, just fuck with somebody for the sake of doing it. That's not in our common. We're not made like that. We're not built like that. When I got my little degree in business and took the corporate job and was a junior executive, I had a situation where I had a girl that wasn't quite up to standard. She was a single mother with 2 children. She was Hispanic. She was doing the best she could, but her best was never going to cut it. But because I have a hard time taking groceries away from her baby, I couldn't fire her. That's not in me, okay? I can put on my gray suit and my loafers and go to work, and all that's fine. But I have to live with myself when I get home. I'm not like the Jew, I'm not the Oriental, I'm not the Caucasian. I can't just fire that girl because that somehow makes me do my job a little better. The white girl I worked with stayed on me, stayed on me, stayed on me. And finally she said, well, look, you know, I'll fire her. And this isn't even her, she doesn't even report to her. Okay, she's only indirectly her boss by virtue she's at the management level and this girl is at a quote-unquote entry level. So we finally went back and forth. I said, look, you know, enough is enough. If this is what you got to do. She fired. We lived in the same apartment complex. I got home that day. I'm walking my dog. She's laying out by the hot tub, kicking it, having a burp. Okay? That's the difference between us and them. That's why these Buffies, as Bobby alluded to earlier, that's why they can't speak to us, because deep down in this notion of elevating themselves, they have alienated themselves, and now they don't want to come back because they're so afraid when they start feeling what it is to be black again, they'll be all messed up in the mind. So when you talk about good and evil, I fought against it, but every time I go and I give the white boy the chance, he does it. You know, white folks killing their parents because they want the money. When's the last time you heard about black folks killing their folks? I mean, the things that they do, cutting up people and eating them. Now, if a brother is mad at you, he may kill you. You might make me so mad right now, I may kill you. But if you get out of this room and I go home and do what I got to do, I'm not going to make up no 4-page list of how to kill you in 5 weeks or 5 years. If we don't take care of it while we're mad, we are not a malicious people by nature. We are not conniving. We are not, that's none of us. Okay? And I want to say in front of everybody because I think it's important that we begin to understand. It's not about hating white folks. It's about loving yourself. That's right. And it's time we get away from Eric Severide and 60 Minutes and Harry Reasoner and Rav and all them other fools, Jane Pauley, And when the Greeks get together and they have a little picnic, that's culture. When the Italians have Italian Christopher Columbus Day, that's culture. Black folks have a freaknik, and it's an uprising. It's a militant day. You know, I mean, you're laughing, but I'm deadly serious. Just pay attention, man. You ain't got to read it. Just live it every day. You'll find out. Straight up, he's the devil. Can't be nothing else.
All right. Hey, give yourselves a hand for coming out. Okay, as I said before, this was the second in a series of 4. The next lecture, please be here. Please spread the news. I'll have flyers up tomorrow. It's going to be on African rights of manhood and womanhood. That's next week, same time, same place, Wednesday.
Also, I got a guy that's coming in next week. He's going to deal with the cycles. He's going to deal with the cycles, and also you're saying those entities, he's going to deal with the astral plane. So even though it's African rights of manhood and all this type of stuff, I think that I see you all are at a level right now that you've heard the rhetoric, and I think you want to hear some higher stuff. I see this. So we're going to deal with a lot of that stuff.
We'll get to the higher stuff.
Yeah.
The last one.
Yeah.
The one after that is going to be specifically esoteric knowledge.
Right.
And that's when Bobby's just going to act a fool. And, he's going to have his heyday. These brothers are going to have their heyday. And that's we wanted to work you up to that point.
Yeah.
So it would just seem like hocus pocus off the bat.
Yeah.
I want to thank you for coming here, sir.
Yeah.